What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we got Cold Brew on the channel. What's up, brother? How is it going?
Hey man, I'm doing great. Yeah, always happy to do collabs with you, man.
Absolutely loving it. Today, guys, we're gonna talk about maybe one of the biggest issues in Raid Shadow Legends. I know we have time issues, skill tome issues, etc. But this is one that affects pretty much everybody in the game, and that is the issue with the Great Hall. Like, I'm seeing your comments, I'm seeing kind of like your complaints about the Great Hall issues, and we just kind of like want to talk a bit about it. Maybe kind of like share some ideas on how Plarium could potentially improve the whole system, because I know it's pretty painful for a lot of you guys out there. Basically, it takes around roughly, what, 2 years to max your Great Hall? If you're not missing a beat, basically, to do it every day, right? Something like that, no?
Yeah, 2 years, maybe 1 or 2 months, maybe 2 years, 6 months, depending on how much you play. If you miss some days, if it takes you a lot of time to get into gold 4, that also affects it. Because you know, of the efficiency and how you just cannot farm as much if you're in silver and bronze, and you can't even complete it if you're in silver. So you have to get to gold. So yeah, at least 2 years, I would say.
It definitely takes a while. Like, I know the majority of games, similar games like these guys, gacha games, just mobile games, they tend to lock this sort of feature behind the PvP, and that's mainly because they want people to play their PvP as well. If no, nobody would actually play the PvP that doesn't really share a passion for it, right? So a lot of you guys that are not interested in arena will never touch arena. Maybe you're gonna do your 5 fights a day, cash in on the daily quests, and kind of like forget about it. So I kind of like get their point of view, why they want to lock the Great Hall behind PvP. But the main issue is that a new Great Hall is coming as well. They mentioned that they will rework the Great Hall system, but it doesn't seem like they're planning to rework the way of how we're earning the medals to upgrade our Great Hall. And if you're looking right here on the side, you're going to be able to see how many medals you need for each one of the levels. And yes, if you have silver, you're going to be able to upgrade the bronze levels with half of the amount, basically, but in silver. So it takes a very long time to farm it. If we're paying attention to how many medals we're actually earning per fight, they're not a lot, and it's all based on your tiers. You see, like right here, it shows you 2 medals in bronze 4, which is definitely not enough. You're getting 3 silver medals in a silver 4, and all the way up to gold 5, you're getting 4 medals, not even 5, and then in platinum, you're getting 5 medals. So I feel like this is where the biggest issue is. What do you think about it, Cold Brew? Just not being able to earn enough medals, regardless of how many fights you're doing.
Yeah, I think there's many different ways they can try and change this, but yeah, the problem is that the gold medals that you get, of course, per win are very slow for the amount of effort required, and just imagine all those refreshes that you need if you're gonna be doing refreshes to get it. Even on whale accounts, it still takes you know, a ton of time. So they need to change something with this system, just so that people don't see it as an insane goal that will take you know, months and months and actually years to finish. It should be you know, more doable, and especially maybe the first half of it. Maybe there should be like a mercy system in upgrading it, and then after that you can slow it down if you don't want everybody to be finishing it very quickly. But it should have like an easier way to finish that Great Hall bonuses and get those to 10.
Like, I feel like so far, just considering that this was probably the biggest end game goal for everybody, right? Like, it's very time consuming. We do need to remember that usually these sort of games are not sprints, are marathons. You get to play them for a very long time. But even like this, I feel like 2 years plus is a very long time. I feel like if would be something to take like around 1 year, would be a massive difference. Now, I know the majority of people don't hang around for 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a game, you know. Everybody goes on with their lives, they move to different games, they kind of like want to try different things, people get bored, they start disliking particular things about the game. So the majority of people will not really get to max their Great Hall. You know, they won't be getting that feeling. And it wasn't such a big issue necessarily till now. But considering that we have a new Great Hall coming to the game, which will require pretty much the same sort of effort, if not a crazier effort to get it done, I feel like having two things like this in the game is actually very bad. And they definitely need to up the medals for the fights, get them to at least double. Even like that, it just doesn't feel like will necessarily be the right choice. I feel like if in Gold 5 you are able to get 10 medals per fight, it's definitely much better. Like, you have 10 free fights daily to start with if you let them refresh. Then you get the free refill. You're gonna get the other 5 from purchasing something from the market, which is in the quests. So that's 25 free fights. Of course, the time refreshes every hour. You're gonna be able to get a different one. So you will potentially have more of them daily. But that means that you constantly need to keep an eye on, constantly need to log in to make sure you're not wasting them, and you're just not getting enough value out of the time investment. And I feel like it's gonna be even harder for the next haul, in my opinion, just because of the time slots for when the live arena is open, which we're gonna cover in a second. But any other ideas that you would have, Coldbrew, to sort this out rather than just increasing the medals?
Yeah, the Great Hall thing, the new Great Hall thing, yeah, it's definitely gonna take some time. I covered it in a video the other day. Actually did a collab with Chosen, and yeah, it will take a lot of time, especially if you're just focusing on one specific area that is it's different grades, so each grade has a higher difficulty. It's like double for a grade 2 and then double again for the grade 3 for the new Great Hall. But yeah, a lot of time there, and then a lot of time in the classic arena for the old Great Hall. So the way that they could fix it is that maybe they could implement something with the tag arena. Maybe that can give you some way of an exchange. You can use those gold bars for an exchange for gold medals. That would be an amazing way to get people also to be interested more in tag arena, because in tag arena, honestly, if you reach a point, there is not much that you think is worth your gold bars. Maybe the sacred shard, but again, I would think that a lot of players would prefer to put those gold bars into the Great Hall instead of just getting one sacred shard if they had the option.
Yeah, I think so too. Even if they would not necessarily replace the gold bars, but they could add, okay, weekly reset, your daily fights. You can gain the same amount that you're gaining in Gold Arena per each one of the tiers, and just put them as extra rewards. Like, I feel like they definitely need to step up the game with the old Great Hall, considering that we're getting a new one, you know, and it's just kind of like to encourage the people that haven't managed to sort their old Great Hall up, you know, to do it now, you know, because we'll be like, or to do, even if they do events, man, like, let's just say once a week they do the arena tournament, which is so bad at the moment, like, it's the worst tournament in the game, right?
5-star relentless.
Like, you're not getting almost no value out of it. Why not put some side rewards right here for a classic arena takedown, put some medals, and every time this tournament is on, double the chances to gain medals from classic arena or something like this. More people will actually be interested into it, you know, and they could do so many things. They just need to kind of like realize that it's more of a burden than something that people will want to do to max the Great Hall. It definitely feels like a burden for a lot of people, you know, so it would be nice if they would realize this and be like, you know, guys, we understand it takes you such a long time to do that haul. We're adding the new one, so we're gonna give in and we're gonna help you guys to get your Great Hall max, and we're gonna bring all these sort of things to the game to actually allow you to do it. Like, they could do all three of them, you know, and even like that, it's still gonna take you a year, because it's the time investment that really matters in these games, you know.
It takes a lot of time, and with more things added to the game, the time investment that each player has to make it just increases, and they're not doing anything to decrease it a little bit, which is what is concerning to me. Because when is it gonna ever cap out? You know, how many hours are we gonna spend with the things that we have to do within the game? It should be, you know, sometimes they give us something and then they take something out. They need to take away something, which is, you know, the insane amount of time required in the classic arena, as an example, or another area of the game.
Clan boss is still
Yeah,
the biggest time consuming thing in my opinion. And now being able to do insta fights on this sort of content that's been so old, and everybody's got enough of just looking at it. They can do it, guys. Trust me when I'm telling you that. It's not a technicality issue with it. They can make the insta battle. The RNG is going to be calculated in the exact same way it is right now, and we know that for
we had it. We had
yeah,
it
we
in the
had
game,
it.
remember?
Yeah, we had it a few years
It
ago.
was a bug.
It was a bug
It
when
was a bug.
was not displaying animations, was only displaying the numbers at the end. Bang. So you were going in the clan boss, snap your fingers, the fight was ended, and every time the results were different, similar like now. But basically, you were just skipping the animations completely. And many other games can do it, so it's not a technicality issue whatsoever. It's just them not doing it.
They don't want to. That's the reality.
Exactly. So we're gonna move a bit at the new Great Hall and the new live arena system. And right here we can see, yes, we are getting more medals per fight. Like each tier gives you more than a regular arena, but I'm pretty sure each tier in the Great Hall will take more medals to upgrade than the regular arena as well. And I feel like, how you mentioned, having tiers in the Great Hall, this is going to be very painful. I just hope that we're not going to be forced to do tier 1 first, then move to tier 2. I just hope that we're going to have the freedom to pick which tier we want. But I have a feeling that is not going to be the case.
Like
I don't know why I have that feeling.
Like that, because it will take so much longer to finish if we have to do grade 1 and then grade 2 and then grade 3. It will take
Forever, eh?
insane amount of time. I would hate it if they did it like that. I think it will be like total freedom.
I hope so too. I really hope so. Hopefully they understand that. Now a lot of people might see bigger numbers on medals here and be like, Skratch, this is gonna be easier to upgrade than the classic arena. Well, the reason why it's not gonna be is because you don't have the freedom to go and play this game mode whenever you guys want. So let's just say this is open 4 times a day, 2-hour slots, right? We got like a schedule of maybe 6 times a day. I can't really remember exactly what they showcased here. But basically what's gonna happen here is that you go into a fight. It might take you 1 minute to find the matchmaking. You're gonna start the fight, waste 5 minutes in the fight maybe, or 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. It really depends of your opponent as well. And then you're gonna realize that you've done 3 fights, the time slot is done. You're gonna have to wait a couple of more hours for the next one to open. You might be at work, you might be doing something else, and you won't have time to play it. And this is actually a bigger issue than in Classic Arena because you're limited by how many fights you can do per day. It doesn't matter if you purchase all the tokens and stuff, you're still gonna be limited because of the time, you know. So that's my main concern with this Great Hall. Plus, of course, the tiers, you know.
Yeah, it's not just the time that you need to be on, it's also the time spent per fight, because remember, it's a champion pick session, and then you ban, and then you go into the fight, and then there's 15 seconds of the player each deciding his actions. So there's a lot of things which add up for how long one fight will take. So it's not like Classic Arena where right now we go in and 15, 30 seconds. It depends on the team, of course, always, but somewhere there, you know, the fight is going to be like the duration for one fight. It's not going to be like that.
Yeah, that's...
So it might even take you like an hour to do 5 or 10 fights.
Yeah, and one thing that, because at the very first impression when I looked at it, I kind of like didn't realize that it was not like a dungeon thing altogether and they were all separated. But we don't have the Iron Twins Fortress, we don't have the Sand Devils in here. I don't know why we have the Potion Keeps, because Potion Keeps are pretty irrelevant, you know, like they're super easy to farm compared to the other dungeons, you know. So I'm not sure.
I think, Sand Devil should have been in there. Honestly, it's the hardest dungeon compared to everything else for speed requirements and accuracy requirements. The Iron Twins you can get by because you only need really the accuracy on one champion or 2 maybe, but for Sand Devil, to make things work, and the speeds and health, defense, all those affects your team, and we don't really have many ways to boost that. So having it in the area bonuses would have been amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a bit surprised that they haven't put them in here. Like, is pretty odd, you know. Like I would rather have that over Dragon, Spider, Ice Golem, or Fire Knight. You know, it's gonna be more beneficial for pretty much everybody out there that's playing the game. And you see tier 2 or grade 2, how they name it in here. 1,000 medals for level 10. If we're paying attention to the next tier, it's gonna be 2,000 gold medals for level 10. So it's gonna be
double, exactly.
It's double
for everything.
It's gonna be a nasty grind in here as well. And I don't want people to be in the spot where, okay, should I put my time into classic arena to do my main great hall, or should I put my time in the other arena because that gives me stats all around for particular areas? It's gonna be a bit of a hassle. So hopefully they're gonna implement a way of helping people to max the regular great hall, and while we're transitioning to the next one as well, you know. But if you want to add anything else, Cold Brew.
Nah, I think we covered it. I mean, it's a big issue that, like I don't like making videos negative all the time, but sometimes you have to talk about the negative. So hopefully maybe those are changed. Because if we only talk about the positive, then nothing will change, right?
Of course.
Yeah, that's why we try to make these videos sometimes, just to maybe shine a light to where the problems is, and maybe somebody at Plarium
we'll listen, you know. We'll open the ear and we'll be like, okay, maybe they're right. Let's have a look.
Maybe they know something more about our game than we do.
Yeah, who knows, right?
The people who spend, you know, years playing it.
Yeah, they might know what they're talking about. But yeah, this is not even about being negative or anything like that. It's just kind of like putting the feedback out there. If they want to listen, they listen. If no, we're gonna move on with our lives as well, basically. But guys, that was all for this video. If you have any sort of different ideas, please let us know in the comments down below. Hopefully somebody that knows what they're doing and somebody that cares will actually listen to what we have to say here. But that was all. Much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.